ladies and gentlemen, Verdansk is coming. It is inevitable. It is delayed. Suckers. Yeah, Verdansk is delayed. It is still coming, but it is delayed. So I thought it would be fun to go back and take a look at what was Verdansk like back in that initial release time. This came out March 18th, 2020. This is right when Call of Duty released the game. Obviously, we thought this was going to be a big anniversary, 5-year anniversary. They're releasing Verdansk again. They've delayed it. I don't know how much they're really going to change in a 10-day delay. Right now, my expectations are so low for this game that I was saying this before, I'm kind of excited. Like, I think I might actually enjoy it. I think it's going to be so buggy and bad that even if it's like remotely good, I think I'm going to have a great time. And I feel like they could do that, but I don't know. I think this is going to be really, really buggy. It's not going to be anything like what we are about to watch right now, but we'll see what they can do, bro. I mean, they would need a massive improvements from what has been happening in this game. But what was it like when this first came out? So I put together this video right when it came out, top 5 best and worst first impressions of Call of Duty Warzone, because when this came out, I was playing PUBG. I actually played a lot of Tarkov. I played a lot of Apex. Tarkov obviously was like a different game. It got me away from playing some of the battle royales. But then, you know, I did play a lot of different battle royales. Blackout was kind of Call of Duty's first attempt at a battle royale, but that was behind a paywall. It wasn't even crossplay. We even went back and did a video on that one not too long ago. So now, here we are. New game upon us. Call of Duty's finally doing their take at a battle royale. What the heck did I think about it when it first came out? Let's see. We're going to react to this. Now that we have more insight into the future, we can see if there's anything else that was I right or wrong about or whatever. And there's a couple of these I want to take a look at. You guys tell me what you think.
So I've now secured myself 8 wins in Warzone.
8 wins? Damn, I'm cracked.
For Call of Duty. And the nonstop question that I keep getting in my streams is, what do I think of this
Remember
game?
that HDR
I'm still
thermal?
For sure in the honeymoon phase of enjoying this game. It's something new. It's something fresh that I can make content on. It's a new Battle Royale, which I've been absolutely in love with Battle Royale since PUBG. Leading my squads. And we've been talking about on stream everything that I'm liking, not liking, what I want to see changed, improved about it. So I figured I'd just put it together and where I'm at now.
Dude,
with this
man,
game,
something's
what
never
I'm liking,
changed, huh?
What I think needs to be changed or what I would like to see.
There's the
improved.
boys.
I know a lot of people in my audience still haven't even taken the time to see what this game is. There's so much out, but it is definitely still
Look at the slow play. Well, there's a couple. Nobody's running through, slide in the corner. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, we're just all in the hallway fighting each other with guns.
Couple tweaks on it. I know this is a very subjective topic. Everybody likes their own thing.
Where's the slide canceling? Where's the slide? I should be sliding everywhere, man. What? People are just shooting guns, playing the game? What is this nonsense, bro?
In their own styles of games, whatever. But I'm hoping we can stay civilized here. And if you guys agree or disagree, just let me know why.
This isn't Call of Duty.
I'd really love to read them. And these aren't in a particular order.
Where's the Ninja Turtles?
I do think the biggest thing that is, I'm happy they made this change is that the game is just straight up free. This was so huge when Call of Duty Black
was
Ops
massive.
4 came out with their own Battle Royale Blackout that myself and I know everybody had just wished was the game was in general completely free. When they came out with it, it was especially on PC after a month or two of the game being out.
Look at the player count.
It was impossible almost to get games to even start. Especially after Apex had come out on PC, it just seemed pretty much dead. I tried to go back and play it probably sometime in March, right around now. And I remember the only thing I could play was the
dead almost
Alcatraz
instantly,
mode, where it would continue to respawn you each wave.
Especially on
It didn't even
PC.
feel like a battle
Some people
royale
said
at that
console
point.
was still
Because
playing,
they've gone
but
free, and because Call of Duty is just such a big game in general, it allows them to bump the player count up to 150, and the map is massive, especially compared to the last one. It's got every single ground war map in this one map, and then more. The first day it launched, and in those first few hours, I think a lot of people were just straight downloading the game in the first place, and there was some issues where the games were not starting at 150 players and people kept leaving, but that's something else that I'll talk about in a second. Now, I have heard people not liking that the looting system is so simple in that you don't have attachments you can put on guns. You technically can.
I think this was mostly PC players, but
you're not.
Even Blackout had attachments for their weapons that you would pick up and play. You didn't have to go and grind weapons and unlock them. You would just go pick up an MP5 or whatever it was. You would throw on the extended mags, throw on the optic, the ranged optic, and continue to go.
Picking up attachments, you're not customizing your guns as you go through all of it. Personally, to me, this is a massive win. Now, it could be because I've also been playing so much Tarkov lately, and that game is just inventory simulator, which I do personally love.
Yeah, I played a lot of Tarkov. I played a lot of Tarkov.
Less menus here, but I think in the case of
especially for controller, this game is designed for console, and it's just gotten more so over the years. It's not a bad thing. Right? Console needed a good game. That's one of the reasons I think DMZ did so good, and one of the reasons, like, I think it still needs a good extraction shooter to console in general, but
Royale, it is really nice not having
Blackout was goated, yeah. Golden Era, Blackout.
And then getting shot at, you're trying to hit tab.
Look at the fight, bro. It wasn't even a drop shot. Look at this.
I think in the case of a Battle Royale, it is really nice not having
reloading while sprinting. This guy's chasing me down. He's plating.
Hit tab or whatever to open up and close the thing in order to get your gun back out and try to shoot. It's just like you spend so little time actually dealing with your menus, and that's something that actually Battlefield did a decent job of starting to implement with their Battle Royale that they did, Firestorm. But it just, the looting items off of the ground, things were stacked on top of each other. You couldn't really ever do. There was a bunch of other issues with that, but
COD learned a lot from Battlefields.
It's just super simple.
And then when Warzone 2 comes out, they're like, F that. Give him a bag. Give him a third weapon. Actually, I kind of like the third weapon. I mean, I was on PC too, though. But then it became about bag skill. I know because I tried to learn controller because people are like, you can't get a win on controller. So I pulled my scuff out. I start getting some kills on controller, but I can't do it. Even when I got my nukes in Warzone 3 Season 5 and I did a full switch to controller for an entire season, 2 months, I tried it. The biggest thing I had to do was go into Plunder and practice my mechanics of bag management. That I could aim easily. Aim assist just let me lock on easy. Not a problem. The hardest part was getting the hang of the bag management. And that wasn't even Warzone 2 bag management.
That I mean, you don't need to deal
This was
with,
great. This was simple. People could get in. People could play this game. And to be fair, they've reverted back to this with the current iteration of Blackout or of Warzone. However, everything doesn't work, so that's a bigger problem.
Rifle ammo, just pick up all the ammo that you can until you're full with each of the categories. Ammo and even cash that drops is literally just auto pickup. You run over it and it just picks it up. You don't need to worry about picking up attachments to put onto your gun or
floating loot was
in case you
simple.
Get the gun that you want in the future. Same thing with the armor system. You don't need to pick up an armor first and then get plates to put it in. You just have your 3 bars of basically shield that it will protect your entire body. You get the armor plates, you put them in, it gives you 50 extra health per one you have.
I wonder if I complain about how much armor there is, though.
Auto heal. You don't need to constantly have bandages. I remember in Blackout constantly just running around, spamming bandage after bandage, and then trying to find the trauma.
Yeah, that was kind of annoying.
It does add a couple other layers of gameplay, which it can be fun. But I do like that it's a little simpler here. This is something, too, that, like, if you were to, say, put an Xbox player and PlayStation player from PUBG into a game with a PC player, they're going to be able to fly through the menus at least a little bit faster and have some type of advantage there. But because there's really none of that in this game, I think it feels solid for it to be crossplay.
Yeah, I didn't really like Dead Silence.
Greater player pool up so you can get games quicker. Having the ability to res in a battle royale, to me, has made the experience so much better. When they introduced this in Apex, being able to res your team, it just took away the entire problem of, especially when I'm playing with friends, somebody dies at the beginning. We would always reset.
Still a problem in PUBG.
Ourselves up in order to play with everybody again, at least, because otherwise we're going to be
some maps have a res system now,
and the person's just going to be watching. It's not as ideal. There's no chance for them to even come back. Blackout had introduced that every wave you get the respawn, but there is no
it wasn't great.
Deserving of that respawn. And that's why I'm happy with the direction that they've gone with this. At least so far, it seems like it's been fantastic. The fact that you can 1v1 somebody in order to come back adds a layer of
the Gulag was so good, man.
You die from somebody who just...
I still think the Gulag is a great idea.
You die in a super unfortunate way. It gives you that chance of redemption if you can earn it. And the higher skill player, over time, theoretically, should get to more end games, should have more opportunities to win, right? There's still going to be a ton of luck in battle royales. That's just part of it. But this helps to curb a little bit of it, and it dramatically improves the pacing of the game. The mid game, there's so many more people alive. It feels a lot like this game is just nonstop. And then at the end game as well, it just feels like there's so many more people alive. And it's nice too that the system does end before it gets to, you know, top 30, top 20. Usually by then the gulags are closed. There is still reses though. And it's an interesting opportunity where you can spend cash in order to bring your team in. Is that balanced? I don't know.
It kind of was at the beginning of the game. Right? Death was still very bad at the beginning of the game, for sure. It was hard to get access to a buy station. People would camp buy stations. You'd have to spend a lot of money, like $4,500 was a significant amount of money. They eventually added like fire sales where you could get free buybacks. That was kind of crazy. But in the current iteration of the game, it's not only Gulag, but now you got Gulag entry tokens, so you can do more Gulags. You got instant redeploy flares, which they've reduced the amount that are in the game. At least it was the last three months ago when I had played it. They had reduced it, but this was a big thing in Warzone 3. Redeploy flares constantly. Boom, boom, boom. You just instantly respawn right on top of them. On top of the redeploy flares, like, so the redeploy packs, you pick those up, you self-redeploy. As soon as you die, you instantly come back. You don't even have to go to Gulag. Then they got the redeploy flares you shoot in the air. That reses your team. And those were all over the place. And you could carry multiple of them when you had that bag system Warzone 3 before they took it out. So people are coming in like crazy even at that end game. So there's not even any risk at the end game. You just keep bringing people back. And then you also could put a portable buy station down. And then they have the redeploy, the gas thing, the already redeploy. Yeah, the gas bubble. I forget what it's called. There's too many acronyms in the game. You put the gas bubble down, and then it reactivates a buy station so you can still buy back even more. And then, if you're Jam Cow, you just get stems and you just never even kill anybody and you just go get a nuke and solo by yourself. Nuke on Rebirth without even shooting a single shot from stems, right? So that's the other element of it.
Maybe the price needs to go up a little
PDS,
more,
thank you.
But you can't just be camping in a corner and continue to just keep rezzing your team because you need the money in order to do it. So I'm glad there's still that barrier there. It's not just people rezzing. Because
but they reduced that barrier.
It ups the total kill potential.
Should have listened to me.
Because so many more people are guaranteed to come back. Somebody's going to win all those 1v1s at least. Other people are going to get enough to res, so there might even be more kill potential in the game. But I feel like this is very much a Call of Duty thing.
You know what's crazy? It's not talked about either. These vehicles were really good. Am I crazy on that? Like, I feel like all of the other vehicles that they put into the game since the original ones, the helicopters felt great to fly. They were the new helicopters. I don't know if you guys saw the Warzone 4 ones. I don't know if they've changed them. They look like these big helicopters, but they perform like a tiny little RC car drone. They spin around like crazy. Like, it makes no sense. Physically, it looks terrible. And gameplay-wise, it doesn't feel good to play either. These were like, the little birds were amazing. These little Jeeps were amazing. The trucks were way OP. I don't know if I talked about this, but the trucks were way OP at the beginning.
It's just nonstop action, action, action. And I feel like it works well in this game. This next point, though, you may not agree with me as much on, and that is that there is a heavy sniper focus in this game. And personally,
I said it
absolutely
right at the beginning.
It was one of the things
I said it right at the beginning, dude.
Car 98, you can snipe one shot somebody.
First video I ever did on the game.
Peek you for 1 second, you got to make them pay.
I already knew sniping was insane.
It's a very difficult shot. You have to lead it. You have to account for bullet drop. I had played so much Apex Legends last year, and at the beginning, it did feel like the longbow was...
You could just spawn with a sniper. You could bring your own sniper out from your loadout packages. You didn't need to go find the Kraber from a box like in Apex. You didn't need to go find the Car 98 or the M24 on the ground like PUBG. You just instantly get a sniper with that high velocity you can one-tap somebody with. The fact that everybody wasn't sniping nonstop at the beginning was mind-blowing to me. This is why I sniped 24/7. It was the best thing ever. But it's also why they kept on nerfing it, because it was way too good. Now sniping is just a shell of what it used to be, man. It was insane at the beginning. The bullet velocities were crazy. There was no damage fall of one-tap headshots. Bro, they brought the Car 98 back in Warzone 3, and everybody started using it like crazy. Oh, the sniper's back. It wasn't even close to what it was back then, though. Crazy ADS. Decent bullet velocity on the Car 9, but still the one-tap any range. Now all the snipers have a cap on the range. Too far away. Sniper doesn't one-shot anymore. You know, they were crazy. And maybe it's for the best because everybody got better and everybody started using it. I don't know. But I'm just saying, back then, sniping was insane. And I don't think there's any way they can recreate it in the new Warzone. In the new Verdansk when this comes out. There's no shot that they let this be sniping what it was back in the day. I just cannot imagine that they do that.
Was a pretty good gun in that one.
I think it would be great. I would love it, but
for me, the best way
I don't think they're going to do that.
Wins was by going double.
They got to focus on ranked. They got to make in ranked. They just ban the snipers. You're not even allowed to snipe in ranked. You know,
God, you had a shotgun.
They got to focus on ranked.
An SMG, an assault
My
rifle,
bad.
something that you could push in, use one gun, switch to the other.
Just want to have some fun. My bad.
And you can clap people before they could fight back. Especially if they were using a sniper, they just couldn't compete with you in close range. Now this is a game where your assault rifle, especially if you put an extended mag, you'll have enough to kill 1, 2 people, maybe 3. It can get dicey in a 1v3, especially if everybody's full armor. But having a sniper is extremely effective because if you can one-shot somebody before the fight even engages,
look at people playing the game.
There's a lot of long-range fight
shooting the
potential
guns
in this game. 1 to 400 meter shots are
Yo,
so common.
I pop,
it feels
dude.
very rewarding to bring that bolt-action sniper, and our team is constantly full running bolt actions as our secondary in Call of Duty as well.
It's not like sliding all over the hill, back and forth with it. This is just different. Like, the game's just different now. And I think that's what people are going to realize, too, when they come back to Verdansk. Not that it's even, you know, some people like all the movement tech and everything that's in the game, too. Great, sure. But I think the people that haven't played that do come back to Verdansk and start seeing how much people are sliding versus what this was, it's a totally different experience, you know?
Balance it in some way. You know when
especially with the Black Ops 6 movement.
If you're scanning your horizon enough. But I've just had a ton of fun using snipers again. The last thing I want to touch on in my favorite changes is the money.
Then we'll get to the bad. Okay. What's the bad?
I'm not sure if people are loving or hating this system, but I absolutely think this is a fantastic thing for the game.
Yep.
Bounties in particular make the mid game incredible. You pick up this item and you know where a team is, not specifically, but you know their general location. You know where they're
bounty
moving.
contracts.
You gotta go hunt somebody down. The other team knows that, you know, how close you are based on
this
that
wasn't
threat
done
level.
in games
They can
before.
bunker down,
you would just run around blindly.
An attack, heading over in a helicopter, ambushing a team is so much fun, and then getting rewarded for it, and then you can use kill streaks, you get all their loot from it, sit in the building, wait to the end of the game. It can work, but you're gonna have a lot less money.
Dude, look at how sick that driving is, man.
And it brings people out into the world.
You kidding me? Look at the pickup of the boys.
It helps add to that feel of the game just being nonstop the
entire way. That was good.
What
did they do to the vehicles?
And then the buy system to complement it, rather than it being based on kills.
Am I crazy?
You are a person who maybe you're not going to be playing aggressive and trying to take every fight with the attacking bounties. Maybe just go for the contracts of securing crates. You can still go out, traverse the world, make money. Get
contracts are good for
basically kill streaks
any battle royale. I think they're good.
And playing the game.
I even saw that on Naraka.
So there's a lot of good things, and like I said, we're still at the very beginning of this game, so yeah, I love just having something new in general. And there are some things that I would love to see changed or implemented. The first thing that I think is the most
needs to be changed?
I would really
love
to see is a solos mode.
I'm a genius. Holy jeez, I'm a genius, bro.
Wait
a second.
A lot of people talking
Let them
about
cook.
Adding duos, adding squads, and I think that changes the game as well. And that might be fun and engaging. But I think the biggest thing, having a solos, makes it so that you can still play the game without having to rely on other people. I'm guessing, like Apex.
See how I'm rezzing Tom? See how he's dead and I'm rezzing him?
They like having the team aspect. You know, maybe it forces you to message your friend to have them get on.
You know what I'm saying?
Have more people playing the game. But if you don't have that, or you don't want to do that, or you don't want to even talk, you just want to play the game, this is so much more effective. And solo is where you learn so much better because you have now nobody to rely on other than yourself. I know that's where I have gained the most skill in games, especially playing PUBG, when I played Blackout, even on Escape from Tarkov, playing that solo boosted up my personal skill.
It's one of the things I
did try a solo mode.
Would be nice for Delta's good solo
too. Loved it. I feel like I became such a better player. What I was saying at the beginning of this too is, you know, if you're just solo queuing into a team-based game and you get partnered with some random people, if one of them leaves, you might now be tempted to leave as well.
Even bigger problem in ranked, by the way.
Why are you going to go in with a two-man team when everybody else is going with a three? So then everybody starts backing out of the game, and then the game doesn't start. I think that was some of the initial problems that was happening, although it doesn't seem to be happening as much anymore. Random queuing also makes it so, okay, well, what if your team just doesn't want to buy you back in because they don't think you're worth spending the money because they don't know you, they don't think you're any good. On top of that, if people
Tom's
rage
dead
quit
again.
while they do have a bunch of money and they leave you out hanging, it just leads to so many terrible experiences if you don't have a quality team. Now, what I do like is that you can do a no-fill into this
You can
game.
bait
You
them.
can't do that into Apex. You're
Oh,
forced
yeah,
to at least
no-fill,
play
yeah.
with somebody. But I think this would be one of the best dramatic changes that they can make to make it more appealing to everybody. And
When this game came out, it was only trios, to give you context. Same thing with Apex Legends. But Apex Legends, of course, never added a solo mode. They did for a limited time mode, but then they took it out. I don't know if they ever added it back. I kind of like solos. It doesn't work as well in that game because obviously all the abilities and everything, maybe you could take the abilities out and just have a normal solo mode nonetheless. They're even more so heavy into the ranked competitive world, right?
I think solos would be fun in general. There might be some tweaking and such that needs to be done with the buy system. I don't know how to implement it in general, but it would be great if it was an option.
Sub baseball, 2 months. Welcome on the Prime.
I really disagree with me on, but the loadout boxes. Right now in game, they cost $6,000, which is so easy to get, especially pooling your money together with your team. After your first landing spot, and maybe you kill even just one other team and loot a couple places, you can get this box. It's like dropping into Fortnite and being able to just immediately get a golden legendary scar guaranteed for your whole team right away. PUBG, fully kitted M4 with all the exact attachments that you need. But I think maybe the bigger problem is that everybody immediately gets their sniper rifles going.
Sniping!
It takes out a
That's
lot of
me and
that
the boys.
RNG aspect where you're not just running around the entire game.
Look at
looking for
that, bro. That's like a 200-meter shot, 140-meter shot.
Get your teammate to bring it over and drop it. But it feels like it's just
high
so
power
easy
zoom
to get. And if you do have a full team, everybody's fully decked and you're ready to go push everybody else. And now
I was very down on loadouts when this game first came out. And I've talked about this a lot. I still, even for a long time, I did not like loadouts. But I turned on it. And it turned out to be, I really liked loadouts.
I feel like they drop a ton of these as world drops into the map as well. So
there's only two. There's one in Zone 2 and another one in Zone 5. This was, like I said, I only had 8 wins in the game at the time I recorded this.
By mid-game, everybody's going to have their loadout. If you have your loadout, you can just, use your sniper to keep eyes on
how far I'm looking, bro. That's a 400-meter shot.
But so far, at least, it also makes it feel like it's a much more repetitive type of gameplay. It is on me, true. I keep on using the same guns, the same sniper rifle, but that's because that's what I think is best. It never forces me to use any other combination of
This
loot.
is how
Even
you
if
can
I'm
get
low on
easy
ammo,
metas.
I have a class that's set up where it just maxes all of my loot. So you
Why
can
they're
get not
important.
only all the best guns, but a full stack of all the ammo you need. It's also rough for the free-to-play players because they're all starting out from scratch. They don't have any of the custom loadouts. They've got to go through.
I've been complaining about this since the beginning.
Who's already been playing?
This I still feel like
just something that's baked into the game. That's where it is.
Yeah, but they can make it a better way of unlocking weapons and attachments. They can make it so it's more enjoyable and fun. And I don't know.
There's double XP for this week. That's going to help people speed up the process.
It takes way too long,
honestly,
even with
I
double
think
XP.
That if there's new players to the game, they should maybe get, at least for the first 20 hours of gameplay, a 3 or 5 times XP, something dramatic, so they can start to catch up and get a couple guns, at least, that they want to unlocked and catch up to where everybody else. I think this might tie in with the last one a little bit.
Superstore!
I feel like as well, the ground loot is extremely weak. And maybe not even weak, but just boring. It's constantly M13s with iron sights and the LMG with iron sights that you find all over the place. If you find an upgraded version of the gun, at least I don't know what the attachments are that are on them. I guess you can recognize what some of the attachments are if you look at the little icon of the gun. I don't know them well enough to know what those are. Do I have faster reload? Do I have better recoil control with this gun? What are the differences between them? And it feels like all of the ground loot is very repetitive. Now,
thank you. Welcome to the squad.
Every month or two, switch out the loot pool of what is there.
And they did that.
Just keep finding
they did do that.
Guns, and those guns just get replaced.
They changed the floor
as soon
loot.
as you get that loadout box, so they don't even really matter all that much anyways. Outside of the start of the game, or outside of you coming back from the gulag and just trying to pick up some scrap loot. I think the biggest saving grace to all of this is that you can get kill streaks from some of the boxes. They're very rare, but that's still your incentive to look around, check the boxes, because you might be able to get a free kill streak, a big cash bonus. Maybe you can use that to bring somebody back. But there's not really ever going to be, once you have your own loadout, like another gun that you're looking for on the map, and now you've got this glorious gun, your Kraber, or whatever that might be. I think that takes away a little bit of the excitement of it, but maybe that also just helps to control the game and make it a little less RNG based. In essence, it would be
True.
nice to know what attachments do these guns have, and if there was more diversity with the guns, instead of it always being an MP7 that you're starting the game with, or a SCAR, the LMG. I think the biggest thing that I've experienced that I want to see changed in the game, though, as of right now, is the sound, specifically of footsteps. I know there is dead silence in the game. You're not going to know necessarily when somebody is using.
Yeah, I hated dead silence. Isn't it crazy though? Like, I feel like sound, it's still a complaint. No, did they fix it? I don't know. When Black Ops 1 came out, the sound was so bad. It was worse than the worst case here. Even the audio for footsteps was ridiculous.
Dead silence and
nope, still broken. Sounds horrible. Okay, there you go. 5 years later.
Why they got the approach and they were super quiet. But it seems like so many of the fights, even if a full team is sprinting up on you, you don't know it until the last second and one of you is dead. It seems like sometimes footsteps are just missing, or they're so quiet with all the other action and everything going on.
Oh, how far we've come over the last 6 years.
I'm not sure if this is a bug.
Yeah,
and
Andrew,
thank you, dude. A lot of audio sounds going on, so it's not registering the footsteps.
Lots of bugs.
I'm just terrible at listening, and I'm just missing a lot of this. Maybe a lot of people are using dead silence. But in general, I think the game will be benefited if you cranked the audio up, specifically for footsteps.
AI will fix it all. Yeah, now we got AI.
Shooters, sound is just such a critical element. You don't know if somebody's behind you unless you're hearing those footsteps. I know when I'm playing Apex, for example, I'm constantly listening not only for the footsteps, but the sound of those footsteps to know exactly which character it is. Maybe I'm also just spoiled from playing Tarkov, where you've got in-game headsets that crank up specifically those audio footsteps like Awareness did with a perk in the past for COD, right? So you can hear footsteps louder. I don't think we necessarily need to add that perk back into the game. Personally, I'd love it if just all the footstep sounds were cranked up more. So it also became more of a decision to, I'm going to crouch walk
to be part of the
this
game.
Next fight. It's going to make it much slower for me to get that engagement, but now I actually will have.
And they did add awareness. They added flex in Warzone 3. I don't know if they've added that back, though.
The element of surprise, because footsteps are something that I'm actually considering. Finally, the last point I have is the pinging system. Overall, this is actually a great win for me. I love that this system is in the game. I love being able to mark people. I think it's something that Apex initially introduced.
I didn't like the pings.
And if you are playing with randoms, or you don't want to talk, somebody doesn't have a microphone in.
Isn't this in my bad section?
And it just enhances the way you play the game. Like, this is very much a gamified thing that I think fits in Call of Duty. It would be awesome if there was a realism mode version of this and we just went much more hardcore. I would be down if Call of Duty implemented something like that.
They tried it.
But for the system that's in there with hit markers, with everything that this game gives you, radar, it works. But
bro, all they have is pings, though. I was watching some clips yesterday, guys. I'm out of the loop, okay? Players were fully highlighted through walls. And even not through walls. Like, you hit them once, and then there's an outline around them. Like a full, they have wall hacks outline around them. I think it was like Combat Scout.
So kind of doesn't work. When I'm trying to ping certain locations of where people are, it'll actually ping the doorway that I'm in. And if you do make a mark, the thing is so massive, and when you aim down sight at it, it doesn't disappear or become smaller. So now it's blocking the visibility for my teammates that I'm trying to call out what this is, but they can't see it because the giant symbol's covering it. So you got to remove it. It seems to ping in the wrong place, and maybe this is me just not used to the system completely enough as well, but it feels like this is a bit of a
we'll see when we go back.
As is. I'm glad it's there. It's definitely helpful in calling things out, but I think this needs to be one of the big areas of improvement going forward to make it flow a little bit better. There's a lot more that we could talk about with this, but
the pings actually,
since this video is getting long
on this game, are pretty good.
What do you guys think about it in the
even from the beginning? They were pretty good because they were color coded. If you guys remember too, when Warzone 3 came out, there was no, or maybe it was when Warzone 4, but there was no color coded pings anymore. They changed it so there was no more colored pings. All of them were white.
Acolyte snipe bet challenge.
Was it Warzone 2? You guys remember that? And they completely broke the pings, and it was just like, I didn't realize how good we had it. And then they just took it all away, and I could not believe it. Yeah, I changed my ping color to pink, but it still wasn't individual for whichever character was pinging. Oh, brother, it was crazy. That one was crazy one.
That I have to say here. Definitely, I want to think more about it because I've been enjoying this game, and I hope that it lasts for as long as it possibly can. I want it to stay fresh and fun. I know Call of Duty usually has a limited lifespan until at least the next Call of Duty comes out, as they do these every year.
Like the idea of changing ground loot.
They're dropping a battle royale with these as well.
Haven't won a single match.
To see if this is something that continues on.
Just playing with my friends.
Since this is a free-to-play game, this is now going to be a separate standalone title. They continue to implement, maybe add new maps too.
Yeah, and now we know what they've done. Now we know what they've done. I think the vehicles are maybe a bit too loud. Can't hear anything, even your own teammates. Love the contract so much. They give you objectives and bounties are super fun. Loadout boxes only supply... If they only supplied one player rather than a full team, it would spread out the kit creep pacing a bit. They kind of did that, where you can just go buy your individual weapons from the buy station now. You don't have to buy an entire loadout box. I think it's bad how you put... How it would feel if they put attachments into Warzone and you finally get the M4 or whatever fully kitted along with the secondary, and you're one shot by a sniper and sent to the gulag and have to reset. I feel like this would this is why the loadout's only 6K. Oh, because what I said, the price was pretty cheap. Yeah, but they have enough other free loadout systems even in there where you buy your loadout. 6K, I think that still is pretty cheap. They ended up making it 20K on Warzone too. Like, they significantly increased the price, but then they also let you individually buy the weapons from it, whatever. But yeah, it makes sense. So yeah, that was my first initial reaction to Warzone back when it first came out. And what a time it has been since then, right? What a freaking time. Hey, if you enjoyed a little look back down memory lane with this, give it a like and stay tuned. We're going to take a look at some more of these.